Okay, let's try this again. Hello, this is Brent for Kassen Studios teaching you how to play Kassen CCG on Lackey CCG. This is where you would become, when you first open the program, this is what you're going to see. And we're going to start this tutorial by teaching you how to build a deck. What I have here is not a deck, but a variation, all of the different kinds of cards and keywords that we have in Kassen CCG. We have 8 elements. We have Aether, Darkness, Fire, Light, Terra, Thunder, Water, and Wind. Now, let's do the different... Well, I'm going to go through the keywords rather quickly. The wiki is going to have a keyword glossary. So if you are confused after all of this, just check out the wiki. I will link it in the video, and it will explain all of the keywords in detail. Okay, so the first keyword we have is Piercing. If this creature destroys an opponent's creature by more than 3 damage, you can take a prize card. Victory in this game is decided by the first one to get to 6 prize cards, so as you can tell, Piercing is a very useful ability. Okay, the second one is Banish. Remove target creature from the field until the end of the turn by spending 2 Arn. The good thing about Banish is you can also use it on your own creatures to get their effects over again. Like Dora's Berserker. When he comes into play, you draw 2 cards. So if you banish him, you get to draw another 2 cards when he comes back into play. Okay, the next one is Guardian. This creature can block attacks targeting spun creatures as if they were players. Normally, you have 2 different types of attacks. You can block players, and you can attack players, or you can attack spun creatures. If you declare an attack towards a spun creature, it cannot block, and no other creature can block for it unless that creature has Guardian. Okay, the next one is Ensnare. Release a puppet to take a creature with a class less than the power of the released puppet. Okay, so that seems pretty easy. Next one is Craft. You can spend 2 Arn to summon a 1/1 puppet token to your side of the field. The next one is Berserk. This creature must attack every turn if able, which means the first turn you play it with the summoning sickness, it doesn't attack. The next one is Bloodlust. If this creature destroys a creature, it gains 1/1. That is a permanent ability. It's probably most easily expressed with a token. Just like a coin or something on it if you're playing in real life, which we will have a video tutorial on how to print out cards and make professional quality TCG cards for under $15. Alright, the next one is Rebirth. While this card is being used as an Arn, if you activate Sacrifice on one of your creatures, you may summon this card by spending 2 Arn. So, if you have it in your Arn zone, and you use the ability Sacrifice, you can then spend 2 more Arn to summon that creature from your Arn zone. Okay, the next one is Sacrifice. While this card is on the field, you may release it and spend 2 Arn to negate the summon of a creature. So if your opponent summons a creature, you spend 2 Arn and release your Sacrifice creature to negate it. The next one is Breaker. If this card would be placed in your opponent's prize zone, you may play it for free instead. Now what we're going to do is put a limit on the amount of breakers you can have in your deck. Because this is a 40-card strict limit game, you can only have 12 different breakers in your deck. Or 12 breakers in your deck, period. That way, when we release more breakers, we're not just seeing a deck full of all breakers, because then your opponent can't win unless they deck you out. Okay, the next one is Pitfall. Spin this card and 2 Arn to negate the activation of a card with a class less than or equal to this card's toughness. Now, let me go through this real quick so that you understand all the different parts of the card. Well, now it decided to quit on me. There we go. This is Tigress Trapper. You have her name, her class, which is her Arn cost. You have the type and the subtype. You have her ability. And you have her power and her endurance. Why that says toughness is beyond me. It's endurance. You have her power and her endurance. I have a quick errata to do now, obviously. But there's that. The next one we have is Stun. If this card takes a prize card, your opponent cannot attack on the following turn. Then we have Shock. When this card comes into play, your opponent mills 2 cards. We have Stream. When this creature comes into play, if you have more than 3 creatures on the field, draw 2 cards. School. When you have 3 or more creatures in play, this creature gains 3/3. Maelstrom. When this card comes into play, you may spend 2 cards to spend up to 2 cards your opponent controls in the same slots. Which means you can spend 2 Arn to make them spend 2 Arn, 2 creatures to make them spend 2 creatures, a creature and an Arn. So it's a pretty useful card ability. And then Flight. When this creature would be destroyed, you may spend 2 Arn and remove this card from the field until the start of your next turn. Okay? So now that we've went through all of the different types of cards, we are going to clear this and we'll make a deck real quick. There are several things you need to be aware of. First off being the name, the set it comes out of, the element, the type, which there are 3 types. There are arenas, techniques, and creatures. The class, which is your Arn cost, your power, your endurance, and the text on the card. Now we'll quickly go through and build a win deck. The easiest way to start is going to be every card type has 2 different arenas. So, or maybe not all of them, but most of them have 2 different types of arenas. So I tend to just go through, pick an arena I like. I'll do 2 or 3 of them depending. And then you just go and you find cards that you like. The easiest thing to do is going to be to make it low cost, high payoff. But if you've built a deck in another game, you know pretty much how to do it. Some of the key things to take away from this is in order to add a card, you can either drag it up there, or you can double click it, or while it's up there, you can click on it and hit one of these buttons. You can add 10, you can add 3, you can add 1, you can take away 1, or you can take away all of them. So there's that. There's view tiled, so you can see, you know, what your cards are up on this page. And that's about it, honestly. You can only have 3 cards in your deck, 3 copies of 1 card in your deck. There's 40 card limit of your deck. You can't go any higher or any lower. And then there's a 12 copy breaker limit. But other than that, just however you want to mix it, match it, go ahead. We'll pull open a deck I built the last time that we were doing this video. So we will open it real quick. And there we go. And it has all of your cards up here. So I will see you next time when we talk about how to actually play some of the games, the different phases, and the different parts of a turn. I can't do both sides of the turn, but I will show you how to play things and how everything works. Alright, see you later.